Welcome back to Mountain Connections. On this Business Wednesday, we are going to be speaking with two inspirational entrepreneurs, and we're starting out today speaking with Ivan Temelkov of Razor Sharp Digital. Ivan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. We always enjoy hearing motivational stories from individuals like you. So tell me a little bit about your business journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born in Bulgaria, and my family immigrated here over 20 years ago. I knew at a very young age that I was entrepreneurial. I always wanted to start something when I was in high school, even. I would always be starting new projects, always having curiosity in different things. And that kind of led up to, starting Razor Sharp Digital, which started 4 years ago. After having spent a long time in the marketing space specifically, I realized that there was a need for humanizing the way marketing was being done. And so in 2016, I decided to focus on human marketing and human business. And that's when Razor Sharp Digital was born.
Now, before we dig into more about Razor Sharp Digital, I'm curious, you mentioned you are an immigrant. How has that shaped your business path?
Well, it's a very interesting question. My father is also a fellow entrepreneur, and I think in terms of work ethic, I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship from him. I've learned a lot about the fact that it's important to work hard. It's important to have a big vision. It's important to have a why. It's important to have a purpose. And I think it's just really helped me at the core really understand that, if you want something really, really bad, you have to work hard for it. You have to outwork everyone, as a matter of fact. And so I'm very grateful to have that, immigrant background where I've been able to see that from my father also and understand the nuances of what it takes.
You're also very open and honest about admitting that you have risked absolutely everything for your business. Dig into that a little bit and tell me how you've gotten to where you are today and how much of that is a result of unconditional support that you have from your family.
Yeah, absolutely. When we look at society, I think society wants us to play things safe because society is afraid of us getting hurt. And I think as an entrepreneur, you have to have this level of resilience. You have to be able to risk and sacrifice everything in order to be able to achieve your goals and dreams. And for me, I had to understand this early on. And even though there was a high level of discomfort, I had to realize how to step outside of that, comfort zone that I had previously. And the more and more I kept doing that, the more and more success I was beginning to have, new relationships that I was creating, and so on and so forth. So I think that's very important, really, for modern entrepreneurs to understand that there's really no instant gratification there, and you have to risk. Risk is essential for achieving the things that you're chasing after.
When you talk about risking absolutely everything, that's terrifying. How did you work through that fear? And tell me a little bit more about the great support that you have in your home.
hmm I've been very fortunate to have a wife and kids who have been very supportive in my journey, and it hasn't been easy. In fact, there's a lot of days when things are hard, and when I wake up in the morning, for example, is I try to show gratitude for I'm alive today. A lot of people are not going to wake up today around the world, so that's a major win. So having gratitude and appreciation for, I think, a lot of things that most people take for granted in life is really important. And also constantly thinking about my why. My why is my family. That has always been since day one. So when things get tough, for instance, I try to really strive into mind therapy. I've been cycling for 6 years, for instance, and I found that cycling is a way to clear my mind. So when I'm having a hard day, I might go out for a ride, or I might go out for a walk, or really try to remind myself, why am I doing what I'm doing today, and know that there's a long-term benefit in this. And while things may be hard right now, the pain is only temporary.
And your success, it didn't come overnight, and it's nice that you admit that and admit to the struggle. But it's been an incredible journey to reach you for where you are right now at Razor Sharp Digital. Tell me more about your company and what you're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it hasn't been always easy. It takes a long time to be successful with something, and I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they want a quick win. They want to be successful overnight, and especially seeing this with my father, who's been in business for close to 20 years now. It wasn't really until the last probably 5 years that he had really started to experience true success. In terms of Razor Sharp Digital, what we focus on is working with brands and helping them create more attraction with their digital footprint using multi channel marketing, emotional engagement, and human to human business practices. So, a lot of what I'm currently doing is we are focusing on building relationships, looking for companies that understand the importance of investing in long term, that quick wins is not something that's going to get you over that hump. And therefore, I spend a lot of time on social media, meeting new people, starting conversations, having Skype calls, having phone calls. And that has really led me up to some very, very amazing relationships. And I personally think that this is really only just the beginning.
And really quickly before I let you go, I'm curious, it's times like these where many people think about starting a new business, think about going out on a limb to really follow their dreams. What advice do you have if someone's really interested in pursuing something right now, especially as they may be looking at loss of income and finances might not be exactly where they hope they would be? What advice do you have for these people?
Absolutely. I think it's a really great time, to go after your goals and dreams right now. Think about it. We are all stuck at home and we have more time on our hands than ever before. And of course, there's this thing called the internet, right? That is so resourceful, so accessible for most people. I think that using the internet, self-education, taking on a new skill or improving a skill, these are a lot of simple things that you can do as an entrepreneur to really help you get to the next level. It's important to really hyper focus. I think that's probably one of the biggest struggles for people right now is the ability to hyper focus and dedicate that time to commit to learning something new or improving an existing skill. So that's probably, the best piece of advice that I can share is just putting in more time, create a routine or strengthen your routine. I think after, this quarantine passes, I think a lot of people are going to emerge victoriously, but only if they've put in the time for self-improvement, personal development, clarity, health, fitness. These are all important things that really play kind of in the ecosystem of an entrepreneur.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan, for joining us today. This has been an inspiring business discussion. We appreciate your honesty and also your example. So thanks for tuning us in and giving us insight into your life and some motivational thoughts for our next business endeavor. So again, thanks to Ivan. We have more coming up. We'll be right back right after this.